everyone. Thanks for joining us. If you're joining us on Zoom, we just have our screen shared. We don't have Lydia here today, so we don't have all of the technology completely down to flip-flop between our faces and our screen, but we're good. So, ready to get started? Yeah, ready. Perfect. So, ProFile and Great North have partnered to provide this class for you. We also have the title capture app, which they're going to go through line by line today. And we did that. They've been gracious enough to get that app for you guys here at the Market Center, all of their clients, and then also share that with ProFile.
Oh, so we're excited to go through some buyer quotes, some seller net sheets. We're going to do some net sheets that are side by side for you guys. I will show you guys exactly how to log on, complete it by getting it onto your phone so you have access, and then you guys can kind of follow along with the examples that we do. Also, thank you so much to Eric from Supreme Lending for providing the tacos. We really appreciate that. So we will, while your bellies are getting I think and then I'm Kayla with Great North Title, so I'm the marketing director.
And I'm Brittany McGoy. I'm the CEO of Great North Title. I'm going to be doing the net sheet from the computer back there, so you will not see me up here anymore, but I'll be working magic as Kayla instructs me. And we're here.
We also have Mel back here, so she is the closer with this office on the hallway. So we have like a quick little slideshow. We're gonna kind of go through about net sheets, just a little introduction. So you want to start?
Yeah, sure. So we're just kind of going through a little bit about what we do. So ProFile is the preferred transaction coordinator here at the Lake Minnetonka office. So we provide transaction coordination, and then also some other services, social media, database management, that kind of stuff. And so your transaction coordinators can use these pieces just like you can to help get those net sheets for you. But it is the agent's job to make sure that they get all the numbers correct, and those ladies are gonna show you how to do that. But we can plug it in for you, get it sent out for signatures, and that's it. So can you make it with that?
The next slide, Britt. So why seller net sheets? You have to have them. So I hear. So that's why. But they provide transaction transparency, great communication with your clients. The more times that they see numbers in front of their faces written down in person, better it is for you, the better it is for them. So this is a really great tool to help you transparent.
There is a couple places within the transaction that it makes sense to get a net sheet. So possibly at the listing appointment, when you're going through pricing the home and getting the net for the seller, so they even understand if it makes sense to sell the property, or if we don't have a lot of this happening now, but in changing markets, there could be a time where the seller has to bring money to closing. And so the seller net sheet is super important, even at the listing appointment. And then again, when you get offers, to do those seller net sheets for each offer, so the seller can see the net with all the pieces that go into it, home warranties and commission and seller pays closing costs. Sometimes that math gets hard if you're just trying to think of it in your head, or even just kind of jot it down, where the seller net sheet is really going to put that into a nice organized format for them to. And it's required for compliance.
What is the seller net sheet? You kind of went over that essential calculations to get to the bottom line. The cool thing about this net sheet is we're going to do a bunch of different scenarios side by side. So there's going to be if you're suing well, if they're offering a home warranty, things like that, offering different price points, we'll be able to put that all side by side. So
Great for multiple offers.
So different ways that we can get there. So you can go to greatnorthtitle.com, and we have a little widget in the corner. You can also go to ProFile. So Britt, if you want to toggle and go to ProFile and show them that way. So on Profile's website, on the bottom right-hand corner, right here, when you do calculate, so you can do login and register. You guys are gonna wanna log in and register, because it'll give you the full net sheet capabilities. If you don't actually log in, it kind of gives you a little small version of that. But you can also use it as an app on your phone. So before we get started on anything else, let's do that. So if everyone wants to take out their phone and scan that QR code in your folders, and then it will show everyone, show hands who has an iPhone. Okay, so if you have an iPhone, you can follow the instructions on here. So there is a little toggle button. It has a little up arrow when you scan it. Let me know if you guys follow along. The first page in your guys' folder is gonna have the instructions.
If you're online, I will, if you're online, I'm gonna have that QR code up on the screen so that you can, scan it from your.
So when you tap the top right button, you're gonna scroll until you see add to home screen. So do you guys all see that button? Give me a wave if you don't. When you scan it, click that button. And you can name it whatever you want to. Scan it and start over. Let's scan it again.
Did everyone online get it scanned?
No.
Did everybody get it added to their phone? Yeah?
She's just.
Is the camera up there?
No, I did a, or a
Oh, first of all.
screenshot so that everyone is gonna put in the chat. But this. No,
They put it on the floor to work on that TV up there.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
Is this?
Okay, so did everyone create a login now?
No, you
So we can get to the full seller net sheet? Alright, we'll talk at you a little bit more if you guys still need to create your login for this. Yes? Casey's head's nodding. I don't, but I'm assuming you're doing it in your head. Yes, okay. So while you guys register, we'll get logged in. If you want to go back to the PowerPoint, is there more on the? Oh, no, okay, cool. All right, well, we can just get started then on a net sheet. So when you guys are at a listing appointment and you guys have the address, so you would toggle between either your app, right, or you go to Profile, or you go to greatnorthtitle.com. Okay, QR code on the back of Mel's business cards. Few words are hard. You can get there that way too. But so here's how we'll get to it today. So we're gonna go to login. And then we have already logged in, right? Yeah, okay. So today what we're gonna do is we're gonna go up to new estimate. So I'm gonna show you guys the really cool way first. You're gonna go to sellers, multiple offers for sellers. Like I messed up. Okay, so if you guys have an address too, you can always follow along by doing this for one of 4 listings that you have. Otherwise, if you just wanna follow along by kind of what we're doing, So for this purpose, we're just gonna use this address, 8910 176th Avenue in Ramsey. So are they being offered to purchase with financing or with cash? Right now, we're gonna go with purchase with financing. You don't have to worry about any additional transaction details typically or manually adjusting title fees. You can skip through those too. You can, obviously, we have commercial as well. So if you guys do it, do you guys do any commercial properties in the room right now? No? Some?
Yes.
Okay, so we do have a commercial option as well, but we will stick with residential for this one. Then you're gonna scroll down to loan payoffs. So super important to ask your client, obviously, the last mortgage statement, so we can know the payoff amount. Ask them if they have a second mortgage, that's gonna affect the bottom line. Super important questions to ask. We don't want to find out any surprises like, oh yeah, I have that second mortgage. Because that'll obviously affect a lot. So you have the option to do, so these are the numbers we're gonna plug in, 420 and 80,000. So is everyone following along okay on here? You guys look like you have questions. Raise your hand, stop me at any point if you guys do have questions. So option 4, HOA, obviously the more information you guys have on the listing, the more accurate this is going to be for you guys. I should preface also, make sure that you always tell them this is an estimate, subject to change, things like that. But your HOAs, make sure that you ask if they're monthly, annually. When you order the resale certificate, that's gonna hopefully show all the details on there. But let's say for this instance, it's monthly, $500. Did the seller pay current period dues? That'll depend obviously on closing date. So we'll go with yes on this one. Resale cert, $399. There's usually a transfer fee. Then estimated closing date. And then, hey Britt, I forgot to mention, can you go up to the very top again? You can also name these net sheets anything that you guys want. So if you toggle to this little pencil here, you can name it just like the address seller net sheet. So if you guys have, if you're emailing them to yourself, I'll show you guys what you can do with these after. If it's a PDF, if you want to print a PDF, if you're emailing them to yourself, call it whatever you want so you guys stay organized. But you can do that up here. Okay, we'll go back down.
Yes.
So the resale certification transfer fee, those are just typical.
With an HOA.
Yeah.
And then, so estimated closing date, whatever the buyer's name is. So this is for a multiple offer scenario. So let's say buyer's name is Mary. Done. Thanks a lot. So let's say the offer amount is 500,000. I'm not gonna get it.
Oh.
Better make it 6.
There we go. Okay. Loan type, toggle between that. There's lots of intricate details. Just make sure that we are clicking on all the right things to get the most appropriate offer to show them. So conventional, expenses and credits. Here's where you can. Yep. So if you have like a seller, a home warranty, seller paid closing costs. It's a nice seller. There we go. So for all intents and purposes, this is an option to add. So seller paid closing costs, then we'll go to, oh, really nice seller, you guys. We'll enter an easy percentages for commissions. So 3.3, 2.7. You can do dollar amount if you guys run into that option as well. Your broker admin commission, add here. And we can go down to seller concessions.
This is really where you put
If you're gonna
closing
pay,
costs.
or if you're gonna like seal a well or things like that. Property taxes. So this is a fun one. So you guys can always look up, and I don't know if you guys know this, but you can look up the property taxes on any county website for free. I would definitely suggest doing that just because we know they have to be paid by May 15th. Doesn't mean they are paid by May 15th. So that can obviously affect your seller's bottom line as well. So for this instance, since the property is in Anoka, you go to Anoka County, you look up the property, and then it'll show you the taxes. It's public information. It's going to show if it's paid, when it's paid, and what's left to paid. So for the net sheet, it is super important to use, we're going to use the annual amount. Okay, so this does break it up into two into the ones that are due May and the ones that are due October. That's not always gonna be the case. So make sure that you are going to the county's website there. Each county is gonna look a little different. If you can't find how to do it on a certain county, you can reach out to Mel. She'll help you figure that out.
We should be able to do it because it's required in the MLS with
Yeah.
the taxes. So everyone should know how to find them.
So if that is split up like that, we're making sure to times that by 2. So since the closing is gonna happen in June, not quite, I believe it was like June 18th, so there's gonna be a little bit that your seller is gonna get back because it goes until June 30th. So does everybody know how taxes will get paid? May 15th, or June 30th, yeah, okay. So then, another fun thing we're gonna do, we're gonna go to add offer before we hit calculate. So this is a multiple offer scenario. So closing date, you can change your closing date, maybe this closing date, it's not gonna affect the numbers or anything, but you can say maybe they're offering to close in 3 weeks. New buyer name, offer amount. Last one was 6. What are we gonna do for this one? 20. Loan type, conventional. Well, we're gonna do cash offer for this one. One's also offering a home warranty. Compensation. Always wanna add that in there. Your broker admin commission. Not as nice or as nice of an offer. Alright, so we'll just do you guys want another scenario in there? Do you guys wanna see 2 or 3? 2 is good. So we're gonna hit calculate. Okay, so you have the title of your seller net sheet. You have offer 1 from Mary Johnson, the loan type, closing date, what they're offering for sales price, what your seller is going to net. That's in the big black number right here. So it's going to lay everything out. Okay, so loan payoff, real estate comp. Then we're gonna go to offer 2, same thing. What your seller is gonna net. So you are gonna see everything laid out in detail, how they're gonna receive the cash that they're gonna, or the money that they're gonna receive, why their bottom line looks like their bottom line, and with the different offers. So obviously always subject to change, but it is nice that it lays it out like this. It has our title and settlement costs, recording and transfer, so it adds in all of that kind of stuff. On the title company's end. So that's nice. So then if you email it to yourself, so that's what Britt is gonna do right now, so you'll have this. If we do, you can download it to PDF, you guys can create a flyer of it, or you can delete it, otherwise it should stay in your reviews. You can always go back and edit it. Do you guys have any questions? On the multiple net sheet?
If you're editing it, you can't do an original one and then change it to multiple offers, correct?
If you're editing it, like you just started with one,
Yeah, if you like started one month at the listing presentation and now you have multiple offers, you can't continue to.
you can just, so Britt, if you wanna go to new estimate. So if you just go to seller net sheet, if you thought there was gonna be one, this is where you would go, you would just plug in the one. So you will have to go down to multiple offers and add that one back in. Yeah. Yep. So this is just with one. It does, with one, it's kind of nice. Britt, I'll have you just kind of plug in the numbers quick, kind of like we did, so I can show them how it lays it out a little bit better. If you just do the one, it kind of lays out more of the title fees and stuff like that. More of a line item look for the just the one versus the 2 different bottom lines.
Elena has a good point. If you wanna show like the listing and then when you get an offer, you might wanna start with multi-offer from the very beginning. And then
Don't add another offer until later.
just save it, and when you get an offer, then it would have the comparison.
Or if you're doing 3 different price points or whatever else, then you.
For the other ones, but you should list it for.
Yeah.
Especially the health for.
Yeah, that actually made me curious, yeah.
And that's a good point too, because sometimes it's like, well, I want this, but then if it, once you see like what you're getting from the cell, and you're like, well, if it takes this much longer, then there's X. Do that, you know, so like.
Okay, so it kind of, you know, what I mean, it lays it out a little bit more. Seller net sheet, with title and settlement charges, reporting transfer, loan payoff. Gives a bit more detail on the one. So if I were a seller, I would probably prefer that single one too, and you can always do like a print PDF, and then you can still line them up side by side, you know, just like the multiple offer scenario, which is fine too. It does calculate everything, but it kind of picks it out line by line, like the document prep piece, the settlement, like it lines it out a little bit more. What it'll look like when you do a print to PDF. Do you guys have any questions on how to look up taxes, what different seller concessions, what you can put in there?
Do you want to show them like when you go back home and where you find them once they're saved in there? So all estimates as well?
Mine might look a little different, so,
Oh, so then you're gonna have a list of all of them?
Yeah.
So then you can
You
open
can start the
that.
ones that you want to go back to.
So then you would click on the below that, right? The other thing you can do is the duplicate button. So if you are, like, you want the big pretty one for your listing, and then you get an offer, you could duplicate it and then only change the actual offer details. So then you're not plugging the whole thing. Address.
So before we move on from seller net sheet, we're gonna do, you guys have any questions? No? Okay, and I'm gonna swap with Britt, and I'm gonna let her do a buyer quote. Show you guys what that looks like. I don't know if I'll be as good as you.
Is anyone doing those now? A buyer quote? Okay, so yeah, now we're gonna do a buyer quote. So let's say you just have a cash buyer. Typically, the lender is gonna do it for you if there's a lender involved, but we're just gonna run a cash scenario, just so if you do have a cash buyer, they can kind of have a good idea of what they're gonna expect to bring to closing. So we're just gonna plug in, we're doing a title quote, that's considered a buyer quote. We're gonna choose our address. We're going to choose cash here. All right, and then we're gonna enter in a sales price or a purchase price for our buyer. Here, we're just gonna stick with enhanced. We always offer the enhanced, the extra coverage on every transaction if it's a primary residence. They can always drop the coverage down for savings of $100, $200, but we're always gonna offer the enhanced because we want your customer to have as much coverage as they can possibly have. So we'll leave that as enhanced. And if you ever had a client with a title issue, you are gonna want that enhanced. It is a nice. It's worth the $100, $200 difference for sure. Okay, so now we're not gonna manually adjust the title fees because this will calculate all of that for you automatically. But let's add a custom fee because we don't want to forget your admin fee, right? So we're gonna do BAC for broker admin commission. And what is it here in this office? $4.99?
Oh.
Is the
Every agent
standard,
has
so whatever it is, we'll go with $4.99 here. Buyer pays $4.99, yep,
And probably add commission too.
for the buyer.
Because if you're at this point doing a quote, like, you should probably, we don't know what sellers can pay yet or not.
Oh, okay, so we'll add another custom fee. And here we will say 1% commission. Or just put, yeah, just like 1,000. And then just, yeah, type in 1% commission here.
just in case your buyer does have to cover any of the commission.
Is
You
it
would
a
add it
reason to
there.
put in a seller pays anything or no? Not really.
If the seller, well, it doesn't matter, because we're just gonna calculate the buyer side. I mean, you can plug that in on the seller side if you want. Do we want to add anything else for a charge on our buyer, for a cash buyer? Anything else that you think of? That you would anticipate? No?
Delayed and I did the same.
Your cash
thing.
buyers
maybe.
usually
I don't
pay their
know.
insurance up front?
Well, I was just thinking this would be kind of cool. So say your buyer commission, your contract says 3%, right? And then you find a house that they're offering 2.5% and you do have it checked that it's going to reduce it. Like, this is actually kind of cool because you could put in here the buyer, like the seller is paying the 2.5% and the buyer is paying the other 0.5%, and they could actually see it when you calculate it.
Yeah, okay, so let's put 12,000 in here for seller pays to just see what that looks like. You can just do fee name commission.
Are we adding another one?
No, just in the seller
Just put in
pays,
the
right
seller
over here
column.
next to the 6,000. Let's do 12,000 over here.
And just put.
Yeah, you can change that to just
Yeah, commission, 6,000, then let's put, yep, 12,000 in seller fees, yep. All right, and then you'll want to ask your cash buyer, do they want to pay their homeowner's insurance at closing? Or are they gonna pay it in advance? Because that's gonna make a big difference, right? So let's say, let's do add custom fee, they want to pay it at closing. They'll just have to make sure they provide us with
HOI.
their, we're gonna do fee name, HOI, yep, for homeowner's insurance. Let's say it's probably gonna be 8,000 nowadays. Okay, any other fees that you guys can think of that a cash buyer would want to include on their settlement statement? So if there is a condo or an association, then you would want to add those things in there too. Or if the buyer is gonna cover a portion of the home warranty, let's say seller's only gonna cover 500 of the warranty and buyer's gonna cover 100 of it, you would want to add that too. So you can continue to add all of those customs, and then remember, you can always go back to it later and add as things change throughout your transaction. So let's go ahead and hit calculate here. See what that looks like. We have encountered an error. Okay, so we will check in with title capture to see what kind of issue we're running into here. It did work earlier
Maybe
when we
name it.
tested it.
Maybe name it. Maybe it doesn't like that it's not named. I don't think it is, but
Try it. Like, maybe just
Real
take out all the
property address?
customs and maybe that's for their technical.
What do you mean take out, Brent?
So X both of those out. Calculate and see if this works. Okay, so that's the issue. So we will contact title capture today. Let them know that if you do manually adjust that there is a technical glitch, we will probably have that fixed within 24 to 48
Or maybe you
hours.
had to put 0 where it said seller paid.
Oh, maybe.
You actually, you couldn't leave that blank or something.
Yep, that could be. So we'll run that scenario too to just make sure. Hope that's fixed. 8,000. You can do it again.
But I wonder, then if this gets like signed, if they use it and it gets signed off, and if they're like trying to adjust the actual title fees on here, that maybe it doesn't let them do that.
We'll check with them. Okay, so does anybody have any questions on running a seller net sheet? Doing side-by-side comparisons or running a title quote for a buyer, which again, you don't really need to do if there's a lender involved. Lender will do all of that. And if you want, board, but you probably won't be bored this particular.
Or if you're just trying to provide the title fees to the lender, you can do this to see them, because sometimes they'll ask. Or if you get not your typical lender and you get the quote from the lender and they look weird, like it looks high or low, you could always do this and then send it to the lender for them to adjust. Just like you would for homeowners insurance, if the homeowners insurance looks off, you can actually get a real quote to the lender and they'll update it. Yeah, so this is a super simple system that is free to you. We do pay for this service so that it is a benefit to you and make you look better when you're meeting with your sellers. Because you can do it on your phone, like it's super easy to do it on the fly, right? So when you're meeting with somebody at a listing at your home, let's say you forgot your laptop or it died, you forgot your charger, no worries, you can use your phone, go to that app, go to our website, or go to the ProFile website, you'll be able to do it all on your phone too. Just email it or text it so that you can see that full version. And again, you're logging in there, so you can still go back and edit it later if there's changes throughout the transaction. And I think the operating broker said last time that if there are changes in the transaction, that you do need to in fact update that, right? For the seller net sheet. Like you're gonna have an estimate, but you have to go in if you add seller fees or whatever, that it needs to be updated for the file in the end. So remember that you can go back and edit and you don't have to start over again.
And for compliance, it needs to be signed by your seller. So you can email it to yourself and then send it or download a PDF and then upload it into a transaction data person.
You can just.
Yeah. Yep. But it doesn't have to be signed for.
Well, I think we covered all the bases. If anything comes up throughout, any of your trials, just reach out to Mel or Kayla or myself and we'd be happy to help you. Cool. All right. Well, feel free to grab a walking taco on your way out. We'll do a drawing here real quick and see who wins the backpack.
Let's take it up a little bit.
Yep. We'll shoot. Is that what you say?
Doesn't matter, Joanna's name's in
You guys are right there.
Get yours done?
Yeah. All right, so the winner is.
Joni Gonzalez.
Ah,
Wait, say your name right? Johanny.
Johanny, here is your new backpack. It has a spot to slide your laptop right in here. Now, don't accidentally grab Mel's when you go to the dinner.
Good, I usually have checked it.
Thank you. Carabiner on here, and this will set you up first. And then you also have, oh yeah, okay, and then, next we have a drawing for a trucker hat, and then a typical girl hat.
Baseball.
So we're gonna do a drawing for each. Okay? And you guys can switch whoever the winners are if you don't agree to take the hat. Jeff Ballard. Which one would you like?
Those girl hat, no.
Actually, I think this also looks good on that. All right, so you can't switch. Okay. All right, the next winner is Delina. Okay. There you go. Congratulations.
Hey, look at that.
Yeah. Thank you guys.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Thank you.
That's really great information.
You can really stop recording.
Thank you for bringing it back. My pleasure, man.
Jim has been wearing your.